Hey, Splendid Snake here with another figure review. Again, I'm sorry. I feel like when I come through to these videos, I do something really stupid and then I'm apologising to you guys almost straight off the bat. So, fundamentally, you know what? It's me. You guys should be used to it by now. Anyway, moving on. Today, we have got the DC Direct stroke collectibles, not classics, Arkham Origins FireFly. Been looking forward to this figure for quite a while, and I've now got all of the baddies in my Arkham collection. I only need two, well, soon to be three. I need Hammer, Grundy, and Clefairy. Yeah, you know, the expensive ones. Although I'm still undecided about Clayface. I'm not 100% happy with how he looks, but that's another story. Moving on. What do we think of FireFly? I think the character in the game was awesome. I really enjoyed the boss fight. I really enjoyed the character, how he was brought to the series. I love the look of him. I think he looks absolutely awesome. What do I think of the FireFly figure? I really like it. I think it's a pretty solid figure. I watched JC's review and he had a few complaints about it. I don't have that many. I think one of the main things I'm really upset about was I got this guy actually brand new, so not second hand, and as I took him out of the packaging, this broke. Or this broke, I can't remember. One of these broke off straight away, and I was like, no! But the super glue layer, easy fixed. Someone told me they did theirs with blue tack. I'm curious to wonder how that actually looks, but for me, super glue, done, baby. Now this figure is actually really cool. He's got so much detail in him and so much going for him. He's a really, really nice figure. He is let down a little bit in his articulation, but it's not massive. He's got these nice cool like wing thing turbines. I always thought these were weird, like the wings were the wrong way round. But this is how they appear in the game. Just, it looks like they should be the other way to give him some like lift. Not this way. That kind of, I don't know, I think that's a bit weird. But whatever. As you see, sporting his massive flamethrower. Now, the flamethrower is removable. It's got this hose goes in the back, but the hose simply just pegs into there. And it's nice and easy. It's a bit of rubber, so it holds quite nice, so that's good. The wings were also removable. They're separate pieces. And they are just pegged in. Try and do it carefully. There you go. See, they're just pegged in there. So I'm actually going to take them off so we can have a good old look at the figure. And then we'll come to them in a minute. I'm even going to take his flamethrower off. And we'll go over his accessories in a minute. So here we have Garfield. I can't think what his last name is. But the FireFly. Now this guy is, like I said, very, very, very cool. The sculpt on him is really nice. There are some gripes, like I said. But, excuse me. Fundamentally, I think this guy is a really decent, solid figure. So, you can see he's got his little wings here. I think this one's warped, actually. Yeah, didn't notice that. That one there, you can see he's warped. I only just noticed that now. So he's got little wings on the back of his boots, which are cool. All separate pieces that are attached. He's got like this, I don't know if it's cabling or supports going down on his leg, but it looks like it's connected there, but it's not. If I move his leg, you can see that it's a separate piece. He's got some hand grenades, some probably phosphorus grenades there. Loads of grenades, explosives, so it's very, very cool. Now what I've just noticed also is he's got like, I thought it was a bit of armour on his left arm. So this, as we're looking at the right, but it's his left. But I think that might be the control for his jetpack, which I think is very cool. The helmet's also really nice. Got a little air antenna here, which I wish was rubber, because I'm very worried about that snapping, as it's quite prominent, it sticks out a bit. But just the sculpt on this guy is really, really nice. Just, yeah, fundamentally solid with like it's like a charcoal black with some grey and some yellow throughout. Different colours like yellow. You've got like fluorescent yellow on certain parts and then more of a like normal yellow on these parts. And then gold in here. Okay, so let's go over his articulation, because this is probably maybe the figure's weakest element, but it's still pretty cool. So the head, I believe, is on a ball. Now when I say I believe is on a ball, whoa, sorry about that. You can get some movement You can go up that much, down that much, pivot that much from there to there, and then you can turn from that much to that way. His collar just hinders it ridiculously. Now the collar is a separate piece, but it is attached, and I don't really want to attempt to remove it. So you're pretty much basically getting no head movement whatsoever. Some companies wouldn't even bother if even added a joint. They would have just glued it, made it a solid piece. Shoulders are on ball discs. They can go up that high, and they can rotate full 360 degrees around. You can get a rotation at the elbow, and then a single bend at the elbow, but it's quite... The angle of his cuff is actually pretty cool, so you don't really get hindered when you go rotate round, so I think that's very good. And then he has a simple cut at the wrist. Now, this is a slight gripe. Due to the angle of the wrist, when he goes to hold his gun, it's a bit weird, and I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, I've got nothing in the torso whatsoever, nothing in the waist, and then we have hips. Now, I believe they're T-cut. It's kind of hard to see. Yeah, they are T-cut, but due to the sculpt of that, it's hindered quite drastically, and I reckon if I put pressure on that, it's just going to snap off. So you can do splits if you kind of work with it, of that, but his Spartan is probably only that. I might see if I can alter it to make it better, but I'm not that concerned. And then he has a single bend in the knee of just that, and no ankle articulation. I think this figure would have killed for some ankle articulation, because when he's flying so much, you can get him to point his feet down. I thought it'd be good, but for now, he's kind of stuck just like that. So that sucks a little bit with the articulation. I think it's good that what he's got, but I also think it could have been better. These straps here really hinder his leg. I think it'd have been better if these were actually on the leg opposed to the crutch. Or maybe taken a page out of a Japanese import figure and made him rubber. Sorry, I keep knocking the camera. Now, before I go into his accessories, I want to do the size comparison, get that over and done with. Just need to readjust the camera as I keep knocking it. So, he stands... He's quite short for a DC collectibles. He stands at 6.5 inches tall, just over 6.5 inches tall. So if I bring the trusty Batman, DC Direct's Batman, and Mattel's Batman Legacy Batman, you can see he stands in good scale with them, but they've got a bit of height on him, which is good. If I bring in the other guy from the same wave that I've already reviewed, here's Anarchy, and here's Bane. As you can see, per usual, Bane just towers everyone. I'm not going to get Croc because he's kind of buried. I've got a few other, I've got these all, like I said, so we're going to get over them in a bit, and I'll show you guys some more pictures on my Facebook of all these guys put together. So let's go over his accessories. Like I said, he comes with this flamethrower, and it's very, very cool. The hose is completely removable from both, so if you didn't want it, you don't have to have it, but then it looks like a bit weird, like he's just got one tank. It is very cool, and it's got a little bit of a hit. I kind of wish this was painted like a flame, or they added a flame to that. That'd be very, very cool. But it could be one of those spark ones. That might be make more sense. Excuse me. But very, very cool. It's very thin, and I think it's ever so slightly warped here. So that's something to bear in mind. But this is very, very thin plastic, so be wary. It's got a few paint details on it. It's pretty much solid. It's a solid silver, some darkened at the end, some metallic grey around the barrel, and then around the handle, and that's it. And some yellow lines just there. I don't know how well they're coming up. But like I said, this hose, it's very long. Now you see you've got these two bits which can go in. It's really simple. It's just a solid black with yellow bands. And then you've got a short one and a tall one. Short one goes into the gun, like so. And you know, it might work better. Let's try putting the long one in the back. No, I think it looks better in the gum. And then that, like I said, just goes into those 2 holes just there. Now, I'm going to take the hose off. To get him to hold it, as you can see, he's got one hand. I wonder what they are. Just noticed them. He's got one hand open and one hand in gun. So you can get the gun in his hand fine. Excuse me. Doesn't put his trigger on it. But to actually get him to hold it, you'll notice if I point him this way, to have the angle so it's upright, it comes just a bit far away from his arm. If you bring it closer to the closest point, it angles it like out a bit. It's just a nitpick. Kind of wish that it was a flat cut. It's because the angle of the wrist. But you can still get him to hold it pretty cool. So I was going to be holding it in my little display, if I ever get my display up. Okay. Keep sticking to the map for some reason. Now these are really cool. They've got some nice details on them. Everything's really well sculpted. Bit of splodges there, which are supposed to be damaged, but I think this is the good one. I think the other one. Do you know, I can't even tell. See, if you look under, I don't know how well it's showing you, that one's protruding a bit more than this one is. So I think it might have been this one that's broken. I honestly can't remember, but I can't even tell, so that's good. A friend of mine said that when they took theirs out of the pack, all 4 wings snapped off. So that sucks. It'd be nice if there was some like thrusters there, but instead you get an L, and I'm assuming a little R in that one. I don't know how well that's coming up on camera. But the underside of them is okay. It's fan there, thruster there. Very, very cool. And like I said, they've got these little clips. They're different. You can see like this one's like a upside down P or Q, and that one just looks like a, I don't know, giant upside down, or maybe a big exclamation mark point, you know. But so you can't get them confused. So there's no way you could put this in there. It just wouldn't happen. Even if you tried in any fashion, it wouldn't work. It only goes in the one side. And they do hold and fasten very snug, to the point where I'm almost worried about snapping them when I take them off. But, you know, I'm happy to leave them in there because they look so cool. Now, obviously, when he's got these on, he does become a bit more back heavy, so just cock him forward and ever so slightly. Oh, I finally got my hands on a Batman Arkham Origins Batman figure. But I'm waiting for it to arrive. I should be able to get that hopefully within the next few days, maybe weeks, and then I can show you guys that. And then I forgot to say how that would complete my collection. Okay, there we have the Batman Arkham Origins DC Stroke Collectables, DC Direct Stroke Collectables, sorry, FireFly. What is my overall opinion on this figure? I think it's a really solid figure. I think it's great. It's got so many good things going for it. Like with most of these figures, I think the articulation could be better, but he's still got some, which is better than none. So would I recommend picking this figure up? Most definitely. If you're a fan of the character and a fan of the game, I think he's a definite must-have. And quick sneaky preview. I just think he's going to look absolutely awesome with the rest of these guys. Yeah, sneaky preview there. So these two are up next, but definitely pick them up. Absolutely spectacular figure. Really do love him, and I'm so happy to get. He was one of the, out of these 4, he was the one I wanted probably the most. I know most people wanted Deathstroke, but I don't know what it is about FireFly character, but I do like him. And now before you start criticising, I'm not an arsonist or anything. I think arsonist is stupid. I'm not even a fan of fire. I just think this character's cool. Anyway guys, as per usual, that's my review. Please leave any comments below. Please subscribe. And yeah, I'm going to be checking you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.